Hey everybody, welcome to the Tape Don't Lie podcast. This is the number one podcast, our first podcast, right? What's up, BD? How you doing?
Number one, yes. Hey, how you doing, Marcus? How you doing, man?
I'm all right, bro. It's me, Marcus Johnson, and my man BD Williams. We're going to be bringing you guys some of the best breakdowns you're going to see from Raider Nation or from anything you see Raiders. And we're going to be doing this every single week throughout the season. So be excited. Make sure you follow us. We're going to be up on Apple and Spotify pretty soon. So go ahead and type in Tape Don't Lie on Spotify and Apple. And then, make sure you follow BD at BD Williams 18. And make sure you follow me on Twitter at the Mark John NFL. So a couple of things we're going to be going over today. We're going to be going over the deep passing, right? Deep passing offense. I mean, that's the big thing. You got Henry Ruggs. Yeah. What's this going to look like? Will Carr even throw that far? That's the big
right.
You see from fans. Is he going to do that?
That's what everyone's curious about, right? What if Carr's going to let the thing fly? So we'll talk about that on the podcast. A lot of people are going to say, what deep passing game? But, rest assured, there is a deep passing offense for the Raiders. They might take 2 or 3 shots a game max, but it's there. So we'll talk about that today. What you got for us, bro? What do you got for us?
We're going to go on over, the Raven camp right now, which is Bryan Edwards, wide receiver, South Carolina. He's trying to take that exposition from Tyrell Williams, so he's trying his hardest. We're going to do a little breakdown on him and why you should be excited for him as a fan, and maybe something that you probably didn't notice that he probably needs to work on to make sure he becomes that elite player at the next level if he really wants to be that. So we're going to be going over that. It's going to be a great show, guys. I really hope you enjoy this. Like I said, one more time, make sure you follow us at BD Williams 18 and at the Mark John NFL. So, BD, you want to go ahead and get us started? We're going to talk about the deep passing game. What you got for us?
All right. So, we're going to talk about, are the Raiders, are they going to let the thing fly? What's it going to look like in the deep passing, the vertical passing game for the Raiders? So, first and foremost, we talked about this before just slightly. The Raiders aren't going to be a big volume vertical passing offense. They're going to take their shots. It's still going to be a ground and pound run game with a lot of quick stuff in the short to intermediate. But Gruden is going to call these guys numbers. 3 to 4 times a game. They'll get some targets, and they're looking for big chunk plays. Mostly from yards after catch, but there are going to be instances, there are going to be times where you need to get that third and long deep pass. And so let's talk about what the Raiders do in these scenarios. So first things first, the Raiders really, really struggled winning outside of the numbers in the passing game. Okay. I got Tyrell Williams highlighted at the top of the screen here. Okay. He's going to run a go route. All right. And doesn't win that rep. Let's just look real quick.
Yeah.
Derek Carr, first thing he does is he glances at this safety. He's making sure this safety is he going over the top of this fade of the go route? If that's the case, he's going to come back here and play and, choose something over here on this 3-man side. But when he sees the safety move to inside the numbers, he knows he's got one-on-one on the outside. And this is a situation that Tyrell Williams needs to win. You have to win. This is a rookie corner. Rock Ya-Sin is his name. I like him a lot. Tyrell Williams, you're a veteran. You get paid a lot of money to win these type of matchups, and we just didn't see it, right? So he's not able to come down with the ball. We'll look at it here just because I want to show you. Carr is looking at this safety. And when he sees, the safety leaves, he knows he's got to pull the trigger. And really, we're seeing a catchable ball here.
Yeah.
Of course, you'd probably like to see Tyrell Williams attack the ball in the air. And we'll just talk about some other things here. First, we see Tyrell Williams engage. What do you call this, Marcus? Arm over? What do you call that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's got a little arm over right here. So he's doing some hand fighting, But Rock Ya-Sin, even though he's a rookie, this is, pretty crafty. He's got a bent arm. He's tugging him a little bit. And look, this kind of hand fighting, Williams is pushing off. Rock Ya-Sin, he's tugging. These guys are going back and forth here. That's going to happen in the NFL. So don't say, okay, yeah, he didn't catch it because he was getting held. Like that's not the way it works. You got to still win. Okay. And the problem here is who goes up for the ball. We got the rookie corner going up for the ball, and Tyrell Williams is just kind of letting it come to him, which is the reason why he doesn't get that. So, good ball.
Yeah.
Tyrell Williams not winning on the outside. So, what do? Later on in the year, that was week 4. We're going here. What is this, week 8 now?
Yeah.
We get a little stutter go. We're trying to work this guy, this corner. We're trying to give him a little something here. And Tyrell Williams, he breaks down, he drops his hips, he gets a little head fake inside before he gets vertical. Now, this isn't a great route. We can slow this down when we see it from here. This isn't the greatest route because really you want to see him get this guy stacked, meaning his hips would be directly in front of the defender's hips, and he allows the defender to kind of pin him to the sideline here. So not a great route, but he makes up for it here because he goes up and high points it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like the high point at least, but
he doesn't catch the ball.
Doesn't come down with it, right? So Tyrell Williams really struggled to win on the outside for the Raiders.
Yeah.
And I know that eventually down the line he had a foot injury, but it just wasn't an area where the Raiders were really winning in the vertical game outside the numbers. So
I will say too, the first game, the Colts game, he was fully healthy. There's really no.
He's healthy.
He's healthy, right?
Yeah, and he had a good game. That was just one example of that particular concept not really working well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but the second game, I think the Texas game is when that injury started flaring up a little bit because I think I'm trying to remember. I think he missed the Packers game before that.
Yeah,
and he came back. So,
right, he had a foot, but here's the thing. I'm not trying to sound callous, but every single person in the NFL, they got something going on. Like everyone's hurt. Are you kidding me? This game is so violent. I'm sure there's plenty of guys who had things going on. So it's not really that much of an excuse, to be honest with you.
Exactly.
But so, what I was talking about before was the Raiders were really struggling to win vertical outside the numbers. Okay. That's where the Raiders were struggling in their passing offense. So what did they do? Okay, they started having to scheme things open here a little bit. And I want you to pay attention here to Darren Waller. He comes in motion, and he becomes the third man in the bunch. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, okay? So watch Darren Waller here. He takes an outside release, meaning he's letting this the Z drive in front of him. We got the X receiver going vertical here down the seam. And now Darren Waller – if you might remember in the Houston game, Hunter Renfrow scored on a little outside release from the inside man in the bunch formation, right?
Yeah.
There's debate on what this play is called, but bottom line, the third man or the guy in the bunch, he releases outside wide, and then he comes back inside and he follows, the first receiver. Okay.
Yeah.
So watch Darren Waller here. He gives a little stick nod to the inside, right? I don't know if you saw that. It was slight. He gives a little stick nod to the inside here, right? Okay, and he freezes this guy's feet, but really he wants to go vertical. Okay, so it's an adjustment to a concept that won previously in the year, right? And he's able to come down with this, Darren Waller. All right, this is a similar play that I found in John Gruden's 1998 playbook. You can find that on footballxsandOs.com. We're looking at the third man in the bunch releasing, and then this 2-jet flanker drive play that it's all over the Raiders film. Almost like a fourth of the pass plays, have some kind of flanker drive in it. Anyways.
Yeah.
But my point here is the Raiders did not have a guy who could just win and beat man coverage on the outside. They started having to scheme things open and get really creative in their play calling for taking deep shots down the sideline. So now we'll talk about across the middle. And this is like Jekyll and Hyde. This is like night and day difference for the Raiders.
Yeah. Okay.
A deep passing game across the middle was so much better than what they had on outside the numbers here. And we can even just go ahead and see game one, right? Week one, we got Tyrell Williams out here. I was dogging him. I was down on him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's a big concept here, okay? And this is a big time play across the middle, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this looks like a great play by Tyrell Williams. Carr fans or Carr haters are going to get upset at me. This is actually a really good play by Derek Carr, and I'll tell you why right here. When we look at this play right here, okay, this ends up being how many? This is a 9-man protection, okay? 9-man protection. There is only one player going out for a pass here.
Yeah.
Right? There's only one option, right?
Yeah.
So, and Derek Carr knows he's got to put it in a place where only his guy can get it. Okay, so it's a good throw. All right, not a mind, face melting throw. But the most impressive part about this is and this is just some insight into a Gruden offense. John Gruden, a lot of times he's going to call 2 plays in the play call. So it'll be one play, and then it'll be a second play, and it's for the quarterback to let the offense know which one they're running when they get to the line. Okay.
Yeah.
When you could hear this on the broadcast version. When Derek Carr gets to the line here, he starts yelling "kill, kill, kill," which means we're not running that first play. Okay, he's audibling it to the second play, and he's holding up the two fingers, meaning play 2. Right now, if we're looking at the situation, this is a 3rd and 1. Okay. Yeah. They got what is this? 22 personnel in here. Two tight ends, 2 backs. 22. Right. They're running the ball. And
actually, it's actually now I'm looking. That's unbalanced too.
It's an extra tackle. They got an extra tackle in the game. It looks like.
Yeah.
So that first play was probably running the ball. Derek Carr identifies 10 men in the box, no deep safety. He makes a play with his head more than his arms or his legs or anything like that. He's playing with his head right here. He's audibling it because he knows we got one-on-one on the outside, right? And this is a concept that Tyrell Williams won a lot in, whether it was in San Diego or even this last year in Oakland. Tyrell Williams wins across the middle at a much higher rate and with much more consistency than he wins on the outside. Now, this is a play. This is a staple in John Gruden's deep passing attack, deep to intermediate passing attack, is the dagger play, meaning you got the outside receiver running a dig at around 15 yards, meaning he's gonna break inside. Okay, and work towards the hash. Okay, so this is an in-breaking cut. The number 2 receiver is going to run down the seam, and he's going to try to take these seam defenders with him to vacate an area. So this number 2 receiver, this is not really an option. Okay, unless he's just wide open. But the point of this play is to let this dagger or the dig route get open. Okay. And this is a big concept for the Raiders. The Raiders really did a great job with this. And I'm going to show you an example of Keelan Doss doing it. Okay. So Keelan Doss, he's right here. Probably doesn't run the best route, maybe like an extra step or 2 here at the top of the route. But look at this. The nearest defender is 9 yards away. This is as open as it could possibly get in the NFL. Okay. This is wild how open this left him here, okay? And it's because this number 2 receiver took this linebacker out. Linebacker really should have read through number 2 to number 1 and nailed down on this. But instead he runs with the number 2, and it leaves the number 1 coming clear across the middle, okay? This is as open as it gets in the NFL, right? Yeah. So if this is Keelan Doss, bam, 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 okay, 3 steps instead of 2 steps, probably at the top of the route. If Keelan Doss is doing this, you don't think Henry Ruggs, Bryan Edwards are going to be able to do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I put that in here, because I got a lot of examples of Tyrell Williams doing this play. I got examples of Ryan Grant doing one. If you remember, he was on the team for 2 weeks in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So look, if Keelan Doss is getting this open with this concept, okay, it's foolproof.
Yeah.
Bryan Edwards, Henry Ruggs, they're gonna eat with this concept, okay.
And with the Dagger, I think the Dagger concept usually is a cover 3 beater too, because usually it puts the safety in kind of a predicament, and then where does he go, right? But I mean, this is it worked because Blake Martinez, I don't know what he was doing, but
that wasn't a great cover rep for Blake Martinez, and it just so happened that it worked against that cover 2 look. You know, they are showing cover 3 at the beginning of snap. Obviously, they don't do that, but what Marcus is saying is this safety would have the seam, curl, flat. That's what his responsibility would be in cover 3. This corner is getting to the outside third. This guy's getting to the middle third. This corner is getting to the outside third, right? It would be it'd be the safety to the strong side, meaning passing strength, that would have the seam. And so what happens is when this receiver releases vertical here, he runs that safety out, and like Marcus is saying, the dig comes wide open, right? But you even see it. This beat the heck out of a cover 2 concept. So if it beats 1 high, it beats 2 high, right?
Yeah.
That's a great concept. And this is a big part of the Raiders' passing offense.
I love Dagger, so yeah.
An even bigger part of the Raiders' passing offense, the deep passing game, is this deep cross. I call it the over route, meaning the crosser, usually when you get a drag or a drive, they're crossing underneath the drop of the receivers. In this particular example, we're going to have Darren Waller, and he's crossing the field, but he's going to get on over. This is why I call it an over route. He's going over the linebackers, and he's crossing at a deep angle to try to get deep on the opposite side of the field. Okay. And in John Gruden's offense, they call this a deep cross. All right. And this is another play action concept here. Okay. And this is Darren Waller, and he's running to the opposite side of the field. Okay. This is a big part. I got film of Williams, Renfro, Waller, you name it, all executing this concept from different alignments, different positions. So this is a big, big, big part of John Gruden's offense, right?
I love this concept because that's the what does he call it? He's calling it a deep cross, but a lot of people call that the Yankee. Because
the Yankee, right. Off a play action, if you're just saying one word for the entire play, you got a post, and then you're getting that deep cross from the opposite side. Yeah, that's widely considered the Yankee concept, right?
Yeah.
In football.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Yankee concept, the individual route that we're talking about is this diagram. It's the Z is running this deep cross. This is John Gruden, again, another example from John Gruden's playbook. The Z at this time would have been Tim Brown. Okay, so that's the guy who they're trying to scheme open. Now, when your tight end is the guy that you're trying to scheme open, you might have the Y run that deep cross, right? This is just an example. I mean, this is almost identical. It's just, you switch the Y and the Z, and you have that Y running that deep cross. It's almost identical play.
Yeah, and that goes back to the Yankee concept is kind of another cover 3 beater too, because they killed the Chargers with that. Those cross routes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
right.
maybe a couple times. The week 16, they were chopping them up with that. So it is a huge concept with the Raiders. They love that, and it's like a West Coast staple too. I love the Yankee, man. It's one of my favorite concepts, dog. For real. Like it's just like, because you got two options, especially against cover 3, man. If that safety, he takes that over route, oh man, you got that post, and especially if you got Ruggs too, and he's running the post, and Carr reads it right. But sometimes Carr reads it too quick for me. Sometimes, sometimes make that safety make a decision. So if you can go over the top to Ruggs, you can just go over the top of the safety. One guy who I love running that concept was Carson Palmer, which I know Raider fans don't like Carson Palmer, but when he was with the Cardinals, man, he used to chuck that ball like 60 yards in the air right over the safety, right? And they used to run that on the Seahawks all because the Seahawks run cover 3 all the time. They used to just chop the Seahawks up with it. man, I love that concept. It's one of my favorites, man, for real. All right, man.
That's an
So
underrated arm talent in all time, Carson Palmer. Underrated arm talent. Crazy arm right there.
crazy arm. He's a psycho in the pocket, man. He just stands up there. He doesn't. He's like, I'm gonna take this hit. That's why he's perfect for Bruce Arians. Like, I'm gonna take.
Right.
Get clobbered. So it's funny though. You got any final comments on passing concepts or the deep passing concepts?
Yeah, a lot of those examples that I showed, Carr's making a really good play, and that was just me kind of going through and picking at random. I wasn't trying to create a narrative there. So I do think that people saying, Henry Ruggs is going to go to waste because, he's not going to get past two or whatever in the vertical game. I think some of that is true just because the offense doesn't ask these guys constantly to run vertical passing concepts. He's going to feast on a slant. He's going to take these slants to the house. It's going to happen. Hunter Renfrow did 2 of them. Henry Ruggs has, 3 or 4, this season. They're coming to him, right? So, but I think Carr, he showed he's putting the ball in good places. You just didn't have the guys who were winning consistently on the outside, especially. Even, Darren Waller struggled to win on the outside. So having maybe some guys like Bryan Edwards, we'll talk about him soon, Henry Ruggs, who might, have a better chance of winning on the outside. I think we're going to unlock, the final level to this offense. So we'll see.
Okay. Yeah. And I agree. I think, I know a lot of people, I know a lot of people don't like Carr, but I think some, just from watching film for over the years, I really feel like week 4 through 11, which a lot of what you showed was week 4 through 11. He was pretty damn good. And I say that a lot. And I know from week 12, week 17, he went back to a little bit what we saw before, but I think there's a glimpse there of what we might see this year in him from like week 4 to 11. And I think that's going to be more consistent from him. I hope so. I know he has kind of his limitations, and he can get conservative sometimes. But if he can be what he was week 4 to 11, when he was a little bit more aggressive and he was throwing downfield a little bit more, I think they got a chance, man. Yeah, I think it'll be
I know. Right. Raiders fans, a lot of them are really, really down on Carr. I guess they forgot, the quarterback purgatory that we've been through before. Is he an elite quarterback? No, But I put him up there with, Jimmy Garoppolo and Kirk Cousins and some of these game manager type of guys, Jared Goff, guys who have been to the Super Bowl, or go to the playoffs regularly. So I think he's just as good as those guys. Hasn't had the same kind of stability maybe as some. So we'll see how it works out in this year 3 recruiting. But again, let things play out, watch. He's got some new things. Yeah, if he doesn't perform this year, then we're having a different conversation. But there's no indication from watching the film from last year to this year with extra options, with extra weapons, that's going to be the case. I'm fully confident he's going to have a great year.
See, the difference is that you compare him to who he should be compared to. And people compare him to Russell Wilson. And that's the problem. He's not Russell Wilson.
There's really nothing that can compare to that guy, right? Yeah, exactly. And I guess if that's the stance that you want to take, if your quarterback's not elite, then boo, try to find a new one. But just remember that's a crapshoot, So that's not necessarily something that's gonna just fall into your lap. It's an elite quarterback just because you draft someone,
Exactly, Doc. So I understand that, man. All right. So, the deep passing concepts, we're excited for that. We're excited for what the possibilities is. I expect Gruden to open up the offense. One thing that we were talking about a little bit yesterday is how they were really traditional with the offense. And, going back to 2018, the end of the year, I saw a lot of creativity from John that we really didn't see last year for sure. And, I think that's going to come out. I think they were doing a lot of reverses with Darren Waller back then, a lot of mesh. I showed you that one play with Jalen Richard with the mesh wheel that he was running. That's from Chip Kelly. He was a lot more spread. I don't know why. I can't really explain it. Maybe you can have an idea of that. But I really feel like we're going to see more of the 2018 offense to end the year when they were spread out, like the Chiefs game. There's so many great concepts he ran against the Chiefs game when they put up 33 on the Chiefs that year. And I think we're going to see more of that, and not the traditional, more like 22 personnel. We're going to run the ball and you either going to stop us from running the ball, or whatever you think you're going to do, whatever, we're just going to punch you in the mouth. Now I think they're going to be a little bit more finesse. I mean, it depends on who they play. Like they play the Bills, I think the Bills, they should go smash mouth them, because if they try to pass on the Bills, it's going to be trouble. Same with like the Patriots. You try to go out there,
right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that's it's a really interesting debate. And it's a conversation that people are having in NFL buildings. It's like, what kind of identity do we want to build? You see a lot of these teams that are having a lot of great success offensively that are really doubling down on running the ball, right?
Yeah.
Look at San Francisco. Look at Baltimore. These are fantastic offenses, not just great teams. The offenses are crazy.
Yeah,
running the ball like nuts. Like they got 3-4 tight ends.
Yeah.
Like it's just like so much. And then the volume of their run game is astronomical. Like all the different run concepts that you see from the 49ers, and then just like these option offense that the Baltimore runs. It's crazy, and they're running the ball. They're imposing their will on you. And I think that the reason why that's working so well in the NFL is you got a whole bunch of defensive tackles who want to rush the passer. You got defensive ends who are pass rushers first. You got linebackers who are cover linebackers. And it's like a money ball approach, right? Where these defenses are built to defend the pass. Let's see how they can handle 40 runs a game at them, right? So I hope it's, like that Jeet Kune Do, that Bruce Lee, Kung Fu, whatever the offense needs to do to win, they can do it. If it's a smash mouth team, like you're saying, if it's a finesse thing, hopefully, Gruden's got that in him to, be the play caller for that. We'll see. Like you were saying before, I didn't see a lot of creativity last year. I was a little disappointed, honestly.
Yeah, and I felt the same, and that's what I'm saying. It's based on matchup, because you're right. The best defenses in the NFL, they're all, every time their weakness is running against them. Like the Bills, you run on them, that's their weakness. They're coming downhill, and they're built. They got the safeties, the corners. They're built to stop the pass. It's like the Bears game last year. Like you don't go into the game passing on the Bears. You end up like the Cowboys, who end up losing because you're trying to pass on them instead of just give the ball to Zeke 40 times. Because they're weaker up front, you know what I mean? And you got to have that strategy. You got to decide, like, who am I playing against? What is their weakness? And, I got to run at them, or am I going to come out just throwing it like crazy? You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
All right, dog. So let's get into some, little bit of Bryan Edwards. You know what I'm saying? So let me share the screen. I think it's not letting me share the screen right now.
Maybe I'll just make you host.
Okay.
I'll just cut that part out.
Perfect. All right. Can you see it? Here we go.
Yeah, I got you. I see you.
Beautiful. All right. So, just a little hype it up a little bit. We're talking about Bryan Edwards, 3rd round pick out of South Carolina. Set every South Carolina record there is. And,
beast.
He's got a lot of hype right now. He's got hype. And to be honest, it's well-deserved. And,
okay.
We're going to go through this a little bit and kind of see where, why he is pro-ready, why I think he's pro-ready. And, the best way for me to describe him in every single way is just violent. I know I've heard Carr say that, and I heard John Green say that, man. He is a violent player. Like, everything that he does comes with violence. Like, he is just physical. I was watching the Senior Bowl wide receivers, right? And I was just watching him like, how does this guy not have more buzz? Because he's just so physical. And I really feel like if he went to the Senior Bowl and they went to those press, like the one-on-ones they do at the Senior Bowl when they feature that, man, I don't think he would have been there third. I think he would have no way he would have got out of the first round, but he got injured in that process and he wasn't able to do that. So the Raiders kind of got lucky.
I mean, they got lucky. He had he had rough quarterback play in college. That's really
we'll get to that at the end, but so we're gonna be going over a couple of things. Basically, what he's best at, and then I'll end it out with something that maybe it might not matter because how physical he is, but it is something that is there. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, check it out here. We're gonna start off with a little yak here, which is an underrated thing for Bryan Edwards is his yak ability. He has great run after the catch, and you'll see his physicality when he's running with the football. Like he is just violent. He's basically becomes like a Marshawn Lynch type runner, or like I guess what I'm saying. My comp for him is Anquan Boldin, so we're gonna see a lot of that. We'll start off here. He's against Alabama. This is your normal jet sweep to play. South Carolina did like to manufacture him touches a lot because he's so explosive with the ball in his hand. So we see here, just typical jet sweep, a little bit of outside zone motion with the sweep. But he comes out here, and this is just beasting right here, just tossing people to the side. Look at tossing them to the side. Just tossing them just extra yards. And it's kind of funny. This isn't the only play he did that in the Alabama game. But man,
threw that dude out the club, bro.
Yeah, I know. It was like, get off me. You know what I mean? And this is Alabama defense, you know what I'm saying? And that's Xavier McKinney. Those are draft picks. That's Patrick Surtain he's tossing to the side. These are guys going to be playing in the NFL, man. So he's tossing all these dudes to the side. Now, this one, it kind of shows what is underrated about him, which is his speed. He's got pretty good speed. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like, he's not a burner, but, with my Anquan Boldin comp, he's not running a 4.7 like Anquan Boldin. Let's just say that there's no 4.7 here. We got at least a good 4.5, but he's got a lot of play speed. Now people, we do 40 times and all that stuff. And, people, it's straight line speed and all that stuff. But sometimes when the game is on and we put the pads on and everything, some people just move faster than other players. Right. And that's kind of what you see from Bryan Edwards. He just has an acceleration that gets a little different when he has the ball in his hand. So you'll see this play right here. It's a simple screen, and you can see his vision. Like he's about to make a cut back to the middle. Even better vision there, and he's just taking off. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just special yak ability. And, I was thinking about it when I was watching this. I'm like, everybody talks about, Derek Carr's average, depth of target or whatever, right? But he's got so much talent around him. He might have under 6 yards, still might throw for over 4,000 yards because when these guys create yak. So, I mean, that was just special in itself.
Word.
That is across the field. You know what I mean? Like this is still SEC competition. So we're talking about some of these guys got drafted too, like Jordan Elliott for Missouri. He was a third-round pick, I think. And this is top-notch talent he was going against. This isn't just like, the random guys that, this isn't Big 12 players. Like I know CeeDee Lamb was a huge prospect, and I really like CeeDee too. I'm not trying to knock CeeDee, but this is top competition, right? And we're going to get to him against press, which kind of, is different that, because a player like CeeDee Lamb, you don't know if we're going to find out if he's good at press in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, that's where you're going to find out. Edwards, though, is advanced, and I really feel like that's half of the reason why he's killing camp. So let's go ahead and check this out. A little bit of slow motion for you guys, too, on this last one. Ooh, this is just sweet. I just love watching this play. I just love it. Yeah.
That's just move right there to set up.
Yeah. Bro, so nice.
And then the finish.
Yeah.
The finish, like you're saying, the violence, it comes out.
He's violent, bro. All right, so we'll talk about his release first press next. And like I said, this is what I think is why he is pro-ready right now. He is pro-ready, ready to go. He's in camp. And, John Gruden talked about a little bit about when there wasn't pads on. So we got to see these guys against press, right? And I'm sure that first day when they did a little competition, he was against press. I'm sure he was very impressive. And you're going to see some reasons why here. So we got him lined up at the top here. Right here, you got him lined up. Right here at the top, we got Patrick Surtain lined up against him. You can help me out, BD, with the press technique that they're running. I think it's soft shoe, but you can help me out with a little bit with that one. But let's check out his release here.
Let's see it.
Check it out. So we'll get it better here. So watch it. What I want you to look at this jab step. So basically, I mean, Surtain's him pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, he doesn't have him turn in or anything like that, but still the jab step that Edwards has is just enough against press where Patrick Surtain's not able to get his hands on him. You know what I'm saying? And then he's about to cut back inside. Boom. First down.
It moved his feet there, you know, and
yeah,
like you're saying, I think he is soft shoeing because he's trying to get in front of him. You know, maybe they run a step kick, but either way, he's kind of gaining ground going backwards, and that jab step moves his feet, and then you know, once your feet are out of the play, then it's over for you, right?
Exactly, right. And then, you know, that physicality at the end, he's hard to take down. He's going forward. You're not gonna be able to tackle him and stop him from getting there, right? So he moves the defender right there. Boom. First down. And that's on third down. That was a big third down for them. So, I mean, you already see what's going on here with the press, and we'll watch it one more time. Just boom. First down. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right, so this one's a different. I mean, he's not even getting the ball, but it kind of shows how he stems into press and how he still does the same jab step, right? So let me take this back a little bit. Right, so we see the chain jab step, and then he cuts it inside, and then he stacks him. Right now, Alabama double teamed him all game, right? So in this safety, they were watching him all game. They were like, "You're gonna throw to somebody else. You're not throwing to Bryan Edwards today." You know, and Nick Saban, he game planned it pretty well. That he was double teamed the whole game. So I mean, if he's not double teamed here, I mean, that you throw it up to him, especially with this catch radius. You throw it up to him here, he's probably going to come down with it. I'm betting on him, especially since he has the guy stacked. And if it's a really good throw, it's not even going to matter for him to try to make a play on the ball because he has his guy stacked with his physicality. He's going to box him out and make that play on that ball. So you see right there, of course, he's double teamed. We'll see it one more time.
And like you were saying with the physicality, I mean, that's probably the area where Tyrell Williams struggles the most. On the outside.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I think that he might make a big difference on the outside too. Even if Tyrell doesn't, you know, if Tyrell starts dropping passes early on, you know, and Carr can't lean on him like he wants to, we might see Edwards earlier than they might even want to put Edwards out there. I mean, they probably feel confident in him, and I expect like 20 snaps like week one, but if Williams doesn't perform quickly, he's got somebody that's on his tail. So he needs to make sure he's concentrated catching that football so he can stay on the field too. All right, so this is another one that kind of shows how he beats Fresh. Also, his physicality at the top of the route, right? So we got him here. And you see, we'll come back in a second to that. Of course, the quarterback overthrows him after he beats Trayvon Diggs right there. So that's another guy. That's a second-round pick. That was a lot of people that the Raiders fans wanted was Trayvon Diggs. They wanted to bring him in. And, you know, this is, like I said, this is Edwards versus top competition. He's playing against top 100 players, and he's beating them off the line with great, you know, being able to beat press. So we'll see it. And then what I love about his physicality here and is at the top of the route is that he gets a little veteran push off, right? Because like I said, he's not a burner, right? So he's not a burner. So he's going to use his physicality to get open at all times. And that caused that little separation, is that physicality at the top of the route. And of course, he gets missed, right? But what you see here is that physicality that at times, I mean, he's going to be able to get open even when he maybe not, you know, run the best routes. But he has that physicality where he is just so violent that he's going to get open, or he's going to box somebody out or something like that, right? It's so he's not going to be the most nuanced route runner. He's not going to be Jerry Jeudy, right? He's not going to be running routes, getting really, really quick and out of his breaks, but he's still going to be able to get open. We'll see from the backside here. Of course, it's a terrible throw. I have no idea how you like this quarterback after a while, man. I don't know how you.
He had a lot of yards left on the table for sure. He was just missed left and right. It was crazy seeing that.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's what the Raiders need to thank Ryan Helinski too. So, all right, so let's talk about the catch point, which we've been seeing in the camp videos, is him at the catch point. And this is a video that a lot of people have seen. There's that one-handed catch on the sideline against Tennessee, which is just nuts, right? But this is him at the catch point. Like, he's not open. He doesn't have the best separation here, but he has that ability to go get the football. Like, he wants to go get the football. And it's funny how we're just talking about Tyrell Williams, about not wanting to go get the football against Rock Ya-Sin. And Edwards, when the football's in the air, he thinks it's his at all times. And he's going to try to get down and get that football. And this is a credible catch, man. This is nuts. This is just wild catch. And you'll see a ton of that on tape, is him just going up and just taking the football from people, and Carr's going to lean on him, I think. I think Carr's going to lean on him. And I think like week 8 up, you're going to kind of see a connection with him and Carr that kind of starts to build to the end of the season that they're really going to need. All right, so last but not least, I do want to talk about his route running. We saw a lot of it against press, and I think he's really, really great against press. I mean, I'm not going to lie, he's really, really great against press, but I think it's kind of weird against off coverage. He kind of is not the best nuanced route runner, like I said before. So you'll see here at the top of the route, just way too many steps into this route. It's just way too many steps, right? You want to see him kind of break it. It can be quicker in and out of his breaks. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and he rounds it off a little bit.
I was just about to say, are you criticizing him for rounding this one off?
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like, it's just way too many steps. And I had another video that I wanted to show, but he's kind of rounding it off a little bit. Just way too many steps when he could just kind of be quicker in and out of his breaks. But he's also a big wide receiver, right? So he's a bigger guy. You really can't expect him to be this super quick, agile route runner. I mean, because it's not how he's going to win in the NFL. And if he knows how he's going to win in the NFL, what I'm showing right now is really not going to matter, to be honest. It's kind of me just, seeing something that is a little bit worrisome that he needs to work out. I mean, he could definitely stop the steps, because it's just way too many steps for me. I think he's kind of quicker in and out of there. And there was another route against Missouri when he beats the press coverage, and then when he's coming back and he tries to come back to the ball, he's still able to box the guy out, but he takes like 5 steps trying to get back out of his break on the comeback. And I mean, you don't want to see that many steps when you're trying to come back from a comeback on the comeback route. I mean, you want to be clean in and out of the breaks. So I mean, that way you can create separation without having to be physical, because he's a rookie. If he's not going to get those push off calls. I mean, they might start calling offensive pass interference on him if he's trying to always depend on being physical. He's kind of got to find a way to be more nuanced and get in and out of his breaks better. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, just because, like I said, the size and, the way he is and how physical he is, but it's definitely something that needs to be looked at, and see if he can get better at that on the next level, so he can become a very, very complete receiver. And of course, that's just an ugly pass. Even with the bad route, he was still open. He still should have. They still should have hit him in the numbers. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like the little nuances of route running, he just has to get down. And I think once he gets the nuances down, you know what I'm saying? I think it'll be good. He'll be good with that.
Well, how often did you see him in the slot?
Rarely. He's an X, man.
Yeah.
He is an X. I think against Appalachian State, App State, he was in the slot a little bit more, but he's an X, man. I mean, you could move him around, but like, if you built an X receiver in a lab, I mean, he is an X. He's an alpha dog outside. That's what you want your X to be. He's the perfect complement to Ruggs. Like 2 or 3 years from now, they're going to complement each other so well. It was a great draft strategy for Mayock. I think Mayock had that strategy. I'm going to get the speed guy, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to get the physical guy to match. So there's one side that, John Gruden has this physical X that, the play that you showed earlier. I mean, that's a play that Edwards was set up for. Because, they love those 3x1s where the X is kind of isolated. And, he's doing either the go route or they might do a slant out of it. Jared Cook used to run that route all the time. He used to run it all the time, those 3x1s with the X go. So I really see Edwards taking over that role. And, what we saw from Williams earlier, we're not really going to see from Edwards. He's going to go get that ball. He's going to be more physical.
Go get it, right. For sure.
Yeah, he's going to go get it. So I really like him as a prospect, man. And I really like to think he's going to be a very high-level pro. I think, him and Rose are to complement each other. But, they're both 1,000-yard guys. I really see them both being 1,000-yard guys. I see Rose kind of being like he's probably like the 65 catch, 1,100-yard guy. And then we got Edwards, who's more the 85 catch, 1,200, and they kind of mix it together. And make a great receiving tandem, and I think that's what we're going to see a couple years from now for sure.
Marcus, tell me, where'd you have Bryan Edwards ranked in your wide receiver rankings? I know you watch all these guys coming out.
Originally, when I watched him, I had him top 5. Right. Originally, when I did my whole Senior Bowl thing, I watched every single wide receiver of the Senior Bowl, and then I went and watched a lot of the juniors, and I really had him top 5. But based on my my rankings and what I have weighted, because press coverage is my big thing. Like, if you're a press, you can beat press coverage in college, and you're pretty really good advanced with that. It's going to be an easier transition for you than if you have never faced press. And it's your first time facing some really, really high-level press coverage guys. Like they've been doing this for years, and it's their main coverages that they're doing. So if you are ready to go, you're pro ready. So I did have him ranked really, really high. I thought he was be a top 5 wide receiver for me. But of course, the injuries happened.
Injury, right?
And then of course, Denzel Mims came and he killed the Senior Bowl. So I had to go back because I wasn't. I'll be honest with you, BD. When I first watched Denzel Mims, I wasn't that impressed. I wasn't that impressed because, I never seen
3 routes. But the way he won though was impressive. You can't deny that. It was only 3 routes. Yeah. So like, gosh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Spectacular catch. But Bryan Edwards is similar. He's similar though.
But you know what I'm saying. But Mims never faced press coverage. But then he went out there in the Senior Bowl. And he looked like Bryan Edwards does on tape, right? So, also the corner level at the Senior Bowl was not very good either. So that was kind of a thing, but he still made me go back and watch the tape, and I got more love for him. So I kind of
correct me if I'm wrong. Guys who dominate in press coverage do not go to the Senior Bowl. They come out as juniors.
That is true. 100% true.
You are not sticking around for your senior year. You dominate in press coverage. Okay, get out of here with that. The only one that you could say is that Rock Ya-Sin guy, but that's because he transferred from like Gardner Webb D1AA to Temple for his final year of eligibility or whatever.
Yeah.
So he that was his only year of D1, of like big time tape. But but it was at Temple even. I think Rock Ya-Sin went to the Senior Bowl. I think he went to.
He did. Yeah. He did. And he had a good week. He had a really good week. He was able to do press coverage and all that stuff. So, well, yeah, you're right because the corners there were. Besides like Troy Pride Jr., I think, but they were pretty. They weren't the best corners in the world.
Right.
I'm really, really high on him though. I am really, really high on him. I think he has a chance to be a really good football player. So I'm excited.
I had him. I think I'm thinking back on it right now. I think I had him like 7. I really liked what I watched on film. The way I rank things, you have to take into account some of the combine. Like what's the point of doing it if you're not gonna, factor it into your rankings. So I didn't have an athletic score for him, so I think he might have dropped probably because of that a little bit. But yeah, just the physicality, I was like that one, the first time I watched Bryan Edwards, that first play was that jet sweep against Alabama, and he throws that dude. That dude who's going to be at worst second round pick next year.
Yeah.
At worst, right? So I saw that. I was like, I'm sold. I don't need to see another down of this guy. I'm a huge fan. He's such a beast. He's a meast, half man, half beast. This guy is he's the real deal. I love the way he plays. You watch Bryan Edwards, there is no doubt in your mind that this guy doesn't love football. There's no doubt in your mind that, the game is going to be too tough for him or too rough for him at the next level. That's when you watch him on tape, it's like, all right, this guy's built for this, So barring injury, obviously, and, there's a lot of factors in the NFL, but I think that the sky's the limit for this guy for sure.
Oh, yeah, me too, man. I can't wait to watch him. So I really wish he had preseason so we can kind of get an idea of how he's looking, but, or something, but, how that goes. All right, man. What else we got? We got any final thoughts?
Yeah, we'll see tomorrow if we by the time we put this up, Yannick Ngakoue might be signed by someone. Raider Nation is going crazy.
Yeah. Have you watched Yannick at all? Like, I've never really sat there and studied him. So
I have not. I can't say that I have. So
okay.
I wouldn't have any knowledgeable takes on the guy, even if you asked me to. So
the only thing I did today was I posted on Twitter. I went and looked at his pressure rates for the past 3 years. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he was just so mad that he didn't want to pressure the quarterback anymore, but he dropped from 5th in 2018 to 59th in 2019. So, that is a crazy drop.
That's a big drop, but also you have to think about, we were hinting at this before. Yeah. Football is about complementary. So if you got an offense that's scoring, you're going to pass rush more. You're going to be in a lot more pass rush situations if your offense is scoring. If they're not scoring and you're playing down, they're just running the ball right at you. So your numbers are going to take a hit just on the strength of how good your offense is or isn't. And it has nothing to do with your playing style. So who knows? I haven't watched Yannick Ngakoue to know for sure. But I know that they struggled last year. They didn't have a great year last year. So maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows? Yeah,
that is true. And, but he's super talented. He's a talented pass rusher. He would definitely help out the Raiders. I know his thing is the run game, and I know, I heard you talk about this before, how important the run game is to Paul Gunther. So, it's more about where he fit. He's not really a set the edge guy. You know what I mean? He's more of, I'm going to go get the quarterback. He's not a super, just from what I've heard and what I've seen and, a lot of the comments from other guys that, that break down film is that, he's not really a set the edge guy. He's kind of just a kind of downhill, which what the Raiders need, what I'm saying? But it would just bother me a little bit if they picked him up and be like, why did you pay Carl Nassib all that money?
Right. Yeah. We'll talk about Carl Nassib another time on this. Okay.
Okay.
If the NFL doesn't take us down first, we'll see.
Yeah, right. We'll see.
I'll cut that out. All right, my bad. I'm dry snitching.
Well, we probably gotta get to 30K views before that happens, man.
Right. And then at that point, it's take me down. I'm about to get that blue check. You feel me? Who cares?
Exactly, bro. All right, man. So that's our first episode of Tape Don't Lie. Make sure you follow us. Like I said, this should be on Apple and Spotify pretty soon. As soon as I get this posted, it should be there at least by Friday or Saturday. And you'll be able to check the audio of this. Like I said, this is always better on video, though, because our video breakdowns. Check us out. You
got to tune in. The Tape Don't Lie, guys. The Tape Don't Lie. You got to watch it.
100%. So make sure you follow us at BD Williams 18, at the Mark John NFL. Tape Don't Lie. We'll see you later, Raider Nation.
Peace, Raider Nation.